Am I saying perhaps pod or perhaps podcast?
That is a lovely intro. We're keeping that in. What's up, peeps? This is the Perhaps Pod. It's your host, and
Your guest. And
hey,
today
we're
we're
here
switching
today. Start it up.
positions.
I mean, to be honest, I think we're both hosts and we're both guests. Like, I just,
Yeah, I guess it just depends on who's leading the conversation.
I mean, if that, I have no idea. Like, what do you want to talk about today?
I don't know. What's there to
No
talk
idea.
about?
None.
Not
No
really.
deep questions.
Nope.
Watched
Nope.
anything
I think
lately?
I've just been watching the news. You know, it's snowing in the Northeast. I'm just like, wow, it's a lot of snow.
The northeast of where?
The Northeast
Of the
of the
world. Got
place.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Um.
Lots of cancellations. Although, you know what? I don't think that many people are flying, come to think of it.
Mm. Oh,
But I
I
guess
heard
for
that
those
too.
people who are flying,
It kind of
good
sucks.
luck.
Yeah. There's a bit of like a huge winter storm,
Yeah,
kind of
something
where I
like that.
was. So I completely understand.
Yeah.
So.
So, you know, there's some streaming services that are like worth having and some that are not, and we're not all money pits out here. So, um, I guess which services do you think are worth having? Which services do you think are worth asking your friends for logins? And then, which services do you think are probably not worth it or just too expensive? You know. But
So
I guess it
I'll tell
kind of
you
depends on like what you're into.
exactly. So I'll tell you my trifecta. We got
Yeah.
Netflix, we got Hulu, and we got HBO Max. I'm new to HBO Max. I can survive without HBO Max, but HBO Max is bringing a certain quality that I'm enjoying. And then there's also Amazon. So actually four of them. So
So four of them are worth paying for.
yes, four of them are worth paying for. Now, if you happen to be someone who doesn't have to pay for them and you got those friends that has like the logins and like the hookups and do what you got to do. Like that's, friends are there for a reason. So, I mean, it could all be free.
Sharing
Or if
is
you're straight
caring.
money bagging, it's like, what are you into? I'd say like if I had to go down to one, I have to keep the Netflix. I don't know if it's cultural. I don't know if it's because it's like really where I began, or maybe it's just because no ads, or maybe it's just I don't know. It has a history, it has a variety, it has like where I started my wholesome anime kind of trek, self-discovery basically.
Wow.
um
This is part of who I
Also, the
am.
anime that they come out
Netflix.
with is kind of fire. I just have to say, like the animation quality, the dialogue alone,
Yeah.
and then the adult like themes. It just yes. Oh my god, Castlevania, like oh yeah. But either way, that
Okay.
could be a whole
So
episode.
Netflix for anime. I really don't watch anime that much, so that doesn't
Oh,
that's not in my calculation of which one's the best. I
mm,
love Hulu actually. I love TV shows and I feel that like especially like animated TV shows and I feel that Hulu has the best shows and they're usually pretty timely with their releases too. Now, if
mm,
you're still a student, right? I think they have a student rate for 199 a month with
mm,
student verification, which is just like using your email. So,
mm.
um, I did that for a while. But then, I decided it's worth it to to be able to watch Hulu without ads. So now I pay the full like $13 a month
Right.
for it.
Mm.
I think it's worth it. Honestly, I mean it is expensive and they do a whole bundle thing with like ESPN and Disney for $20, but I'm really not a big Disney person.
Oh, I
I mean, I
forgot about
am. I
Disney.
am, but like I don't know. I don't feel like I'm missing anything
Right.
not having
Yeah.
a Disney Plus subscription. But
Yeah.
yeah, anyway,
True.
so Hulu is definitely worth it. And I guess really that's the only streaming service I have right now. I used to have like
Mm.
Apple TV, but I feel like they don't have enough programming yet. I mean, the price is
Mm-hmm.
pretty good. They're 4.99 a month. So what's that? Like $60 a year? Nope, 48. No, it's 60.
Yeah. Like I have like the whole Apple One situation going on, big ballin'. But like I went to Apple TV and I'm pretty sure that their originals are nice. I haven't like really cracked open, you know, so like take
Yeah.
this like with a grain of salt. But I remember like trying to
Foundation
search
is
up
great.
things that I wanted to see and it wasn't like free. So then I'm like, yo, if it's gonna be this way, then I might as well just like keep the other things, right? Where there's a chance that it will be free and I won't have to like rent it, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I feel about like Apple TV. Um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna ride and die for like Netflix. To be honest, I think the originals alone are like very engaging and very like on point. Like, come on, like The Witcher, like come on, you know, it's much more than anime, but it gets into like anything you're looking for, whether it's cooking, whether it's like you know drama, whether it's like some foreign greatness, you know, like Bahubali. Like, come on, get on that, get on that 4 hour train, you know.
Mm,
So
yeah.
I just like it.
The thing about Netflix though is I feel like they really don't have that many. Well, they really don't have a lot of like regular animation TV shows. Like it's usually anime or other things. Also, like I feel like they just have
Mm.
movies. Like movies is what they
Groupies?
specialize in. Movies.
Movies.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
see, so for
Mm-hmm.
me, what Netflix what started its streaming service back in like maybe 2013 when they switched from like DVDs to streaming and DVDs. You know, I think they actually still do DVDs.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
But I don't know. I haven't Googled that in a while. Or Bing. Everyone haven't Binged it. Uh, you know, Bing gives you points for searches.
Wow. Oh yeah, here we go.
Like
Here
Google
we
gives
go.
you nothing, but Bing gives you points. Gets you
Um
Microsoft reward points. Well, Bing reward points. Anyway, look into it. You can make a
no.
little bit of money. Anyway,
No.
um, yeah. So I never got on the Netflix bandwagon.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know.
I
Just
don't,
coming to it a
the
lot later
production
in the
quality
game.
alone. Oh, especially when they had that whole like Marvel situation going on, like Daredevil, like Luke Cage, and then there was like Iron Fist, and then there was Jessica something. But and then like they all had like their individual series and then they all came together as one. Like, come on. I don't know. I think their production quality is absolutely amazing. So if you're there for TV shows, it's there. If you're there for movies, I'm more of a movie person. But you know, if I get into TV shows, it's probably gonna be one of their originals. It's fantastic. I feel like if you want a like cool collection of everything that you expect to be on cable, right? Go for Hulu, especially with its like miniature subscriptions,
Yeah,
like
Hulu
on
is
top
great.
of its subscriptions,
Yeah,
so
they
you can
also
get like
offer
FX and like you know
Showtime and they also offer
stars and
live TV.
showtimes and like things like that.
Yeah.
Well, probably that's for me, that's probably like what turns me off. Like if I want like your service, I just want your service. I don't want to have to pay on top of something on top of something on top of something,
Yeah.
right, to get access to everything that's on your platform. But you know, if that's not necessarily an issue for you, you know, if you like that, then like go ahead, Hulu is definitely there. I mean, I
Yeah.
have it, so I like it. But yeah, so for me, Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max. Definitely that's a movie. That's a movie situation. HBO Max is kind of there to catch, you know, the rest of those like movies where you're like, you know, I haven't thought about that in years. Um,
Yeah. I did find there's some
so yeah,
overlap though in Hulu and what Netflix sorry, what HBO Max offers. Like especially
Hulu
when
and
it comes
HBO.
to animated shows.
Interesting.
Um trying to think of the different
Interesting.
ones. Nothing comes to mind right now, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's definitely a little bit of overlap on them. I think for
Yeah.
me, HBO Max is the same thing. I never really used HBO or so
Mm-hmm.
HBO Max. I feel like I'm not missing out. Then you have others. What are the other ones? Oh, Showtime. I'm not a big Showtime person. You know, maybe the thing is like with these other streaming services, it's not that they're bad. You know, it's just like I have no loyalty or have no
Right.
reason to pay for them. Showtime, Paramount, like Paramount is trying. They have all the Star Trek
Mm-hmm.
and the Nick shows. I think the new like iCarly. I don't know if it's still new, but like I mean, you know, the adult version of iCarly is on Paramount.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think they're also affordable too, either five or
Yeah, I
six
got
dollars a month.
Paramount through Prime. I feel like
Is that
Prime is
free?
there for
Prime is
I don't
just
know. Maybe I'm
like
just an originals person. I'm probably an originals person. Like
wow.
I
Wants
like I
to
think
see
that's
the
what it is.
platform movies.
Exactly. Like Sneaky Pete.
Okay,
Anyone
yeah,
out there who
Sneaky Pete
knows
is
Sneaky
good.
Pete?
Yes.
Sneaky Pete is amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't seen the latest seasons,
Also,
but I remember I cracked that open. I said, "Oh, yes, this has to happen." Plus, it like naturally comes with like Amazon Prime, which is like a must nowadays.
well, yeah,
So
I feel like
you know,
Amazon Prime. Oh, and they're raising rates. There were 119 a year. Now they're going up to 139. I forgot why, but I came across that. Something
really,
about like not shipping costs, but it was something else. Maybe just cost of doing business. But I feel like with the Amazon Prime membership, like you're paying 140, so like they just want to make it worth your while.
are you serious? I feel like I'm still paying 50.
Well, don't say that too loudly.
Like,
They'll come and find you out. Yeah, no, I mean I've heard stories like there's this one person who was getting it for free for a couple years because it
mm,
used to be free trial, and like their I don't know if it was a he or she, but their trial ended like a long time
mm,
ago, and it just never switched over to like being paid. So they had it, but then Amazon figured it out, and now they have to pay for Amazon Prime.
mm,
But yeah,
mm.
I feel like Amazon's just trying to get you in the ecosystem, but they've already won. I mean, who doesn't use Amazon? Do you know
I
anyone
mean,
who's just
that's
like, no,
look.
I go to each and every store. I'll go to Best Buy, um,
speaking speaking of stores, I mean,
Radio
going to
Shack.
the store is fun now.
Oh,
I
really? I
mean,
hate it so much. I hate it so much because here's
really,
why. There's usually only one or two things I want to buy, and like that's what I
right?
want to buy. But it's like
Okay.
you go to the store and then you got to find the stuff, and then they try to sell you other stuff, and you're just like, I came into the store.
See,
These are the two things I want. I'm trying
no.
to get in, get out. Let's go.
Look, so
That's how I do my shopping.
I completely understand. I completely understand that. I think, especially, when you said that you were annoyed by it, I just got like instant painful flashbacks as a small child. And my mom's in like Sam's Club. And man, like, I feel like because of that experience, I have just a distaste for like warehouse
Sam's Club.
type
I'll
stores, like
take a
big bulk,
box
because people
of
take like
TVs,
all
please.
day. They're there for like hours, and I just remember my little legs
In
and my little
Sam's Club.
feet just being like, yes,
Who?
just
What are you
hours.
spending an hours in Sam's Club doing? Usually
I
we go in,
don't
we buy like our half pallet of cereal, and then get
know,
out of there. I mean, there's only so much bulky items that can fit in your
bro.
car. Unless you
I
like pull up
don't
to Sam's
know.
Club in like a bus, then maybe
Bro,
you could
I
spend hours
don't
there.
know. I have a genuine distaste for them now. Like I
Wow.
can't, I can't be there for long. I'm there for the in and out. I'm with you on that. So, but that said, I can still enjoy a shopping experience. But here's the thing: you got to make sure, like, if you're going with someone else, like, especially if you're going with someone else, everyone has to be there, like, for the shopping experience. If like you're that person, or someone else in the group is that person where they kind of like they just want to get the one thing and that's it, and we're not hanging out, then it's going to be like a crappy experience. But if everyone is like browsing at like this place and they're like planning, that's great. I like that experience.
Nah,
Heck, I do that online as well.
I
So
buy
like I vibe with it. I
I
vibe
buy
with shopping.
I buy one thing at a time. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm definitely not there for the experience. But anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, those are the benefits that Amazon Prime offers you, or at least tries to offer
Yeah.
you to make you think that $140 is worth it, which I actually think it is. Um, I think it is, especially if you need stuff like immediately. But I think most people don't need stuff immediately. And what I actually need to do, which I keep meaning to do, but I don't, is change like my delivery day to just like one day in the week. Because you know how they offer
Mm.
like the 2 day or the 1 day, and then there's also like you can choose a delivery day, and then they'll just deliver
Oh,
everything
I
to
didn't
you
know
on that
that.
day. Yeah, it's
I
supposed to
had no
like help
idea.
the
Hmm.
earth is their
Oh.
thing, and also hopefully it helps the delivery drivers work less or have a little easier schedule because they work really hard,
Mm-hmm.
like really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I can imagine, given the times.
yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's Amazon Prime. So I guess I don't know if I really count that as a streaming service because it's like you get Amazon Prime for 2 day shipping. You don't
Mm.
get it for I don't know anyone who's been like, oh yeah, I got Amazon Prime just to watch Amazon Prime Video.
Yeah, no, 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 no.
Cause
Prime
then
Video
that's
is like
super
the
expensive. Then
add-on.
you're paying $140 a year
Exactly. Yeah.
for Amazon Prime
Yeah. Yeah.
videos.
It's the add-on experience basically. That's what that
Yeah,
is.
and they have music. I don't know if
Um
their music is add-on though, or you have to pay extra.
I haven't gotten into the music, and I know they're also doing gaming stuff, for
Oh, well, yeah,
people,
with their
especially
new
like if you're
like
on Twitch.
cloud streaming thing. I forgot what it's
Yeah.
called.
Mm,
Does it start with the L?
I don't. I have no idea. I just
Anyway,
know
I
it's
know what
there.
you're talking. It'll be interesting to see, if that like starts rivaling Google Stadia. Because
Mm.
Stadia itself isn't that old. I think it just turned two. Um,
Aw.
and it's basically streaming gaming like on your television and computer. Um,
Mhm.
which is cool. They had a special on their controllers. It was like $20, so
Ooh.
it might be worth it if you're into. Well, no, if you're into serious gaming, I don't think Stadia is worth it. But if you're like a casual gamer and you don't want to buy a console and you're like, oh, I kind of want to see how it is to play with a controller, I think Stadia is worth it.
All right.
Um,
What do you imagine is a serious gamer?
I mean PC gamers who have like
Mm-hmm.
$4,000 computers.
$4,000.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So that means that they kind of just bought it right out instead of like, buying the parts and like putting it together.
I mean, you can buy the parts. I'm just saying the value is gonna be a couple $1,000s.
And yeah,
That's what I
yeah,
think is
that's for
serious.
sure. But like, I mean, when you said 4,000, I'm like imagining like, the services that typically like put
Was that
you
your phone?
my phone. Like,
Yeah.
did it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably.
you're so rude. Bro,
I'm
you gotta
not
turn
rude.
those
Hello?
notifications off.
Excuse me. Because the
Here you
world
are,
wants
like
to reach out
we're
to
trying to run a
me.
podcast. Here you are
Oh
checking
my
a
god.
message.
Oh my god. We're
Hey,
completely casual
your
here. Don't you
Amazon
dare.
Prime order is
Don't
on the
you
way.
dare. I
Good
needed
to
that
know.
notification
Good to know.
from that casual iPhone game. But either way. But no. No, when you said like 4,000, like I immediately imagine like the services that that are really great and like put it together for you. Like that's kind of like that price range.
Yeah.
If you're putting it together, you're not trying to reach like 4,000.
Yeah.
um
Unless
but
you're a serious gamer, which is.
no, you could be like, if well, I don't know, I'm not gonna say
Exactly.
that if you're a serious
Exactly.
gamer you only
Bro,
exclusively
you
put
gotta
your stuff
turn that
together,
off.
but I would say that the general community's vote is to put your own stuff together, right? Because you're looking into all the parts, your gear, right? And you're able to like put it together and understand like what it is that makes your system great. So yeah.
Bro, you gotta silence your cell phone.
Really?
Yeah, it
Hello,
went
did it
off. It
happen
went
again?
off again, and it was louder this time.
How? How? I don't understand.
Your Amazon order is
I
delayed.
literally I did the little thingy. We're on the side. It was red.
Just put it on Do
Now
Not
I
Disturb,
turned down my volume entirely,
or just put it on Do
and the
Not
red thing was
Disturb.
there. So here we are. Enjoy.
Um. Yeah. Anyway, so I think serious gamers might not enjoy Stadia, but if you want to like casual game when you're not seriously gaming, give it a try. But yeah, I think the other streaming services, Peacock, Discovery. Well, then each like I feel like network station is now coming up with their own app. And
Yeah,
if you
because they're
get all of
trying.
them, then it's almost not. It's almost more money to
Yeah.
get the streaming services than to have cable. Because like
Mm-hmm.
on top of the streaming services, you also have to pay for like good internet.
Mm.
So if you like barely use the internet and want to watch a lot of TV, then maybe cable and a um a lower tier subscription to the internet would be cheaper.
Yeah.
Because
I don't have cable.
some cable networks like also give you a free subscription to whatever.
Wow.
Hmm.
Look at them really trying to mix it up. They're like, oh my gosh, TV is dying. We need to figure out a way.
Yeah, I mean they really need to get their game on. If I can, use Hulu for $13 a month with no ads, why am I gonna
Like,
pay
yeah.
like $70 a month for cable and have to sit through, a good 5 minutes of ads every half hour?
Right. And then I can easily find and discover like stuff that I actually care about watching.
Yeah. Although I do think the
Um,
thing with streaming services, I feel like they start to isolate us into our own like niches, and like you can just like go down the rabbit hole so fast.
I mean, I'm not sure if that's a bad thing. Like, if you find your niche, then you found your niche. I thought you were gonna go like if you're only on streaming services and you miss out on news, which I can completely understand if like you care about news and you're trying to
Well, I
figure out
mean, you
about
do.
the
Then
world and you don't like social media. But
you just don't know what's
even
going on
then, I'm kind of
anymore.
just like I don't care, huh?
Wow. I only care about my Prime orders and they're coming, so I'm good to go. Um,
Yo,
but yeah, I mean, so for me, like I said, besides Hulu, I don't see anything else worth it. Well, I guess Netflix. Anyway, I guess yeah, I'm only paying for Hulu. I only watch Hulu. I barely have time to watch TV, so like that, if there's one streaming service for me, it's Hulu.
if it's
No ads.
if it's for me, I like Netflix. You got no ads off the bat. There's no extra pricing for any other channels. Their original content is dope. There's a variety of like niches, as you would say, that you can get into, and everything is kind of like really clean and wholesome. Like, yeah, so that's how I feel. So
Clean
I
and
guess
wholesome.
I guess the summary is Netflix and Hulu for the win.
Woo.
Basically.
Yeah.
Woo.
I think Netflix and Hulu is a good combination of TV and movies.
I think it's
But
more
also,
it's
Netflix
more
is
TV
raising
than
their
it is
prices
movie.
too.
Really?
Yeah, everyone's raising their prices. Which I guess would
Everyone's
make sense.
raising their
Like
prices.
inflation has been up,
Right?
so
The inflation. I was about to say
7%, I
that.
think, last year. So
Darned
we'll have to see
inflation.
if it slows down. Um,
Inflation is not cool. Do you
yeah,
think
it just
inflation is
means the
cool?
little money you're getting is now even worth less.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's why I only
Inflation
that's why I only
without
have one
giving me more
subscription.
money, like it makes no sense. Mm-mm. No, no,
I was gonna say I
no.
don't know if you're getting more money, like equivalent to the inflation rate, then wouldn't that kind of mean like
Why inflate?
inflation is negligent?
Yeah,
Not
yeah. Like
negligent,
why
but
inflate?
like, um,
Why are we inflate? That's the. Why is the inflation occurring? That that's the real thing. That's the real question. And why is it being done in such a way where it's harder to live?
yeah, I can't help you on that one.
Yeah. Deep
We
questions. Dun,
don't
dun, dun, dun,
know.
dun. Who do we ask these
We're gonna have to
questions?
look into it. We'll have to get an economist on the show.
And not one that's just, that's a whole conversation how I feel about like finance and economists and money games, but whatever.
I mean, we're all out here trying to make money, so
Yeah, we are all out here to try to make money, but if your way of making money is to get people to make decisions that you wouldn't really make, or
yeah,
decisions you're only
that's
making
definitely
because you have
problematic.
the sponsorship to, then I'm just like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely need to
judgment.
have like a more cohesive community, and I feel like that's what's missing in the U.S. Like our communities are very not stagnated, but stratified. So like they say, we're the melting pot of the world. Like personally, I think we're like a fruit salad or like a thing of M&Ms, not like a soup or a
Explain.
brownie mix.
Explain.
Because everyone's just like in their little pods of community, you know.
Mm.
Whether it's like ethnicities or race
Mm-hmm.
or trying to think what else. Those are the two main ones. Like everyone just stays within those confines and
Mm.
doesn't like expand out into the broader community.
I have mixed feelings about this, and I'm gonna say that it's probably due to the fact of like, you know, growing up and being a big city person, right? So when they say melting pot, I get it because that's where I'm coming from, right? And on top of big city, right? Um, with like kind of like a liberal background, even though it is a liberal background, there's still space to have discussions, right? There's space to like drive into a neighborhood and meet people you like, you've never met before, right? Like in fact, like seeing people who don't necessarily have your same identity isn't that much of a shock. It's not that much tension, even if you don't agree on key things, because it's an environment where those conversations are open, right? So I understand that perspective. But where I get the mixed feelings from, and not, immediately jumping on the bandwagon um, of, oh yeah, like, it's all together, right? Is my experience outside of, where I was from, right?
Yeah.
Um, went to like uni in like the literal middle of nowhere. And even though it being the literal middle of nowhere wasn't necessarily an issue, I think the politics that came with that, like surrounding area where people didn't necessarily mix, right? Or if they did mix, instead of it being like harmonious or like a trading of knowledge, it was more like a general dilution, right? I'll say. That confused me. Right. The way of communicating with people who held differences that were beautiful, right, or you had questions about, was not handled, I'd say, as eloquently or as openly as I was used to growing up. So I remember being in that area and standing and was like, yo, is this the rest of America? Wait a minute. Hello? Is it only we're open and I can experience, like actual diversity, right? Only in big cities. I I don't know what to think now about the country. So I completely get your perspective of you saying it's a fruit salad. I think that's cute. That's adorable. I understand what's behind that. But I also understand the perspective that it is a melting pot, because it can be, you know. And I think it only feels like it if, those levels of communication are opened up, and if it becomes like a standard for it to be open. I think if we do that, then we can live up to that name across the board, no matter if you're a big city, small city, or whatever. In fact, it might not even just be big city or small city, but that's how my life has experienced it. So yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I think I don't know, city suburbs, rural areas. I don't know. It's interesting to watch social dynamics
Mm-hmm.
in different areas, and I feel like I had that same thing too, uh, going to a college out of state from where I'm from, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like you realize like our country holds maybe more diverse views than what I guess you would think. Like we do
Mm-hmm.
differ.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and some of that, so I don't know, some of that is shocking or not shocking. No, it is shocking just to be like, wow, okay, I I I now understand like the dynamics a little better. Like it makes more sense of why people, are the way they are. And I'm not just saying that, in groups, I'm saying that down to individuals.
Yeah.
Because, places really do shape like um ourselves. And
Yeah.
then I know this isn't for this time because I think we should be wrapping up here. But like it'll be interesting to discuss the whole nature versus nurture, and then how much
Mm.
is like you and how much is your society. My biggest thing has been like with likes and dislikes. How much
Mm-hmm.
of that is me, and how much of
Oh.
that
Mm-hmm.
is like society has told me
Mm-hmm.
this is what you like and this is what you dislike.
Short answer to it, since we'll probably like go in depth in maybe another episode. Short answer is that that percentage, I think, differs on an individual level.
Yeah.
I think we talk about it as in like, how can we, establish the percentage? Like, not to say that the whole conversation is like, we need the number, but
Yeah.
like, if we were to minimize it and say that it was, I don't think you can find a general number for like an entire populace, right?
Yeah.
I think it's like, or in theory, I think it literally differs on like who you are, like what you pull your inspiration from.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what that percentage is, right? It's not necessarily intrinsically bad if it's all you, or if it's from
If
someone
it's all
else,
society,
or an
you
idea.
are
But yeah, so
a pawn of society.
that's that is.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. Woo.
All right.
See you next
Well,
time.
this has been the Perhaps Podcast. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.